Citizen Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Welcome to Second Chance Movies, the podcast where we rewatch movies and decide if they deserve a second chance.
I'm Joe Harper, your host who loves rewatching movies, and I have never seen an episode of Saved by the Bell.
And I'm Jessica Quaz, your host who's a one-and-done kind of movie viewer who cannot dance, but if I've had a few drinks in me, definitely think I can. And today, we are giving a second chance to the iconic 1995 banger, Showgirls.
Yes. I know Jessica is excited. She has declared this is the movie we should review. I wasn't upset at all. Showgirls has been on the watch list forever. I've never seen it.
Great.
You know, just like, I'll get around to it. I just hear bad things and I don't know if I'm ready. And you know what? I had to take the dive and I watched it.
Oh,
and
man.
Guess what, guys? It was a movie. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about that movie. So for those of you who do not remember Showgirls, or those of you who have no idea what Showgirls is, I'm going to read you synopsis. So we're all caught up on the story. Nomi, a young drifter, arrives in Las Vegas to become a dancer and soon sets about clawing and pushing her way to become the top of the Vegas Showgirls.
Ooh.
I think that's a fair assessment of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think, that's what happens. She goes to Vegas, tries to make some money, some good money, and then,
It's not just to make money. She has a dream.
She does have a dream.
She has a dream of becoming the showgirl.
That's right. Good for her. We all got to start somewhere. Know me.
So this was my first time with it. So I don't have anything to give here. But what was your first time with this?
So it's one of those movies that are ranked on like horrendous movies ever made. You know, it always makes a list of like worst movies of all time. And as someone who loves to watch bad movies, God, I don't even remember the first time I watched it.
You immediately needed to see it.
I had to, of course. It's like one of the most iconic bad movies of all time. So at some point in my life, I was like, yeah, we're absolutely watching this. I know, God, it was probably around high school. Probably, like, I can imagine the group of friends who also loved bad movies.
It was NC-17. You should not have seen it.
It was just boobs, you know, truly, whatever.
I disagree. I do think there's some content in there that bumps it up slightly.
Yeah,
but
okay, you know what?
For the time, yes.
Yeah.
For now, this would just be an R-rated movie.
I think so. Yeah, we just like threw it on and was like, oh, what is this? And God, it's a long movie. It's especially fun to watch though when you're just like with a group of friends giggling, especially like the cheesy dancing, some of the over the top line delivery in this movie. There's just so much to chuckle at. But this was the first time first time I'd seen it in at least a decade. And also the first time I ever watched it by myself. And if you can remember what I said for Wicker Man, it's very similar. It's a very different experience when you're watching it alone. It's time for reviews.
Oh man. Well,
not everyone hated this movie. A lot of people did, but not everyone. So let's start on that light note. Let's read some positive reviews.
Anthony Lane, New Yorker. Berkeley's acting debut is a joy. If you can call it acting, she jumps up and down a lot to indicate excitement.
That's not very positive, Anthony.
It's not a very nice. He reviewed the movie positively, but that was kind of backhanded.
Rude.
A lot of the comments about reviews are just, she's terrible. She's a bad actress. So Elizabeth Berkley, I think, was known for Saved by the Bell, which I've never seen, but it's high school kids.
Yeah.
And so this was her first big adult role. You know, like I'm a woman. I'm going to make this movie. I'm going to act the hell out of it. Show everyone I'm more than just some teen actor on a teen show.
Which is something we see all the time. You know,
And
nothing
man,
new.
like the reaction was bad because a lot of people think she's over the top. And from what we've read, the director, Paul Verhoeven, he said that was all him.
You can
He
tell.
fell on his sword. He was like, hey, I told her to do that. She listened. So she followed directions perfectly. But that's not what anyone enjoyed seeing.
I am an Elizabeth Berkeley defender when it comes to this movie, because I would agree, yes, she is definitely over the top a lot. However, I don't think that's her fault at all. So I'm super glad he said something, because I can tell like she was directed to be this wild here and there. It wasn't her.
Whatever she's doing fits the tone of this movie perfectly. So
it does work.
It doesn't throw me off like based on like, oh, what did she do? I'm just this is part of the movie. I like.
There's sometimes where she pulls things off really well, and then there are some times where you could tell, like, yeah, she was directed to act a little berserk there. That's not, again, like he said, not her fault.
What I'm just trying to imagine this movie if he had told her not to go above and beyond, and she made the choices that she made. Yeah. I know Samuel L. Jackson he always says, in regards to acting and taking directions, he's always going to do it the way he wants to, because who knows what happens in the editing bay. I'm not going to do it the way I don't want to do it, because that's the one you're going to use. And hell no. Hell fucking no.
And that's, I think, really smart. However, she was so young and just like fresh out of Saved by the Bell, just trying to do her best. And I think listening to the director was what she thought was probably best. So yeah, I'm a defend her. Like, fuck that. We're not talking shit about my girl. Although I might a little bit. More so her character. Anyway.
Yeah.
Nomi, I got some issues there, honey. All right. Richard Corliss with Time Magazine said, Showgirls is one of those delirious, hilarious botches that could be taught in film schools as how not to. That's a positive review. Like, that was the nicest thing that man had to say.
I don't know. I mean, if we've got movies on what not to do, this doesn't hit my top 10.
This isn't it. Geely comes first.
I can see where like you could show this to a film school and say, what could you do to improve it?
Yeah.
How could we turn this? Because I feel like this has all the elements of Oscar worthy movie.
Yeah.
But falls flat a lot of the times, or at least hits some speed bumps. I would challenge a class to do it. How would you change this to make it best picture?
I agree, because I think that there are some elements here that are really good. And I think you could tell they didn't intend to make it what it was, but something happened. And the Academy
loves that like behind the scenes entertainment story of rising to the top, having a competitor.
Oh yeah.
Very similar to Amadeus, but
yeah, or like All About Eve, like definitely has those kind of storylines of like trying to make it to the top and someone's in your way and maybe you replace them kind of. Yeah, totally.
Tim Burton, Antagony and Ecstasy, intelligently made by a smart director in full command of his powers.
I don't know.
So director Paul Verhoeven, I just want to list some of his movies because he's made some solid hits. RoboCop is a wild time. Starship Troopers, so good. Way ahead of its time. Basic Instinct, another classic.
I think it's boring. A lot of people like it. I think it's boring.
I think there's a lot of thriller aspects to it. Again, it was the erotic thriller that was different and new. Right. Total Recall, and a movie we may do in the future, Hollow Man.
Okay, and then recently he's like gotten kind of interesting. So he did Elle starring Isabelle Hooper, and that got her an Oscar nomination. A lot of people like that movie. In 2021, he did Benedette, which a lot of people are raving about. So that's interesting. I don't know. I just think it's weird that like this movie doesn't follow him around the way it does for like Elizabeth Berkeley. Like her career was tanked. It was definitely impacted, and he still went on to make movies, a lot of movies. So just saying, should have fallen more on Paul than her.
Poor thing. Well, that's
Yeah.
the 90s for you.
Truly. So here's a recent review. This came from 2020. So this is a newer one. This is from Matt Cupola with The Spool. Showgirls camp influences, even shades of deliberate camp, aren't so much the film itself, but in universe production, compartmentalizing excess into metatext. And that's a lot of words. That's word salad to me for like, it has an influence on pop culture. And I agree.
For what reason, though?
Okay, but like those who like myself appreciate the camp of it all, I think it has a decent influence. I also have a conspiracy theory that I just realized this time around.
What?
The makeup in Showgirls.
Okay.
Very similar to a piece of content that now is all about its makeup, and that is Euphoria.
Oh.
If you look at some of the makeup jobs in Showgirls, they're very similar to what Euphoria is putting on.
Yeah, how dare Showgirls copy Euphoria like that?
So I just wonder if someone on the makeup department of Euphoria saw Showgirls and said, I like that look.
Chris Alexander on film. What the director and the writer are doing here is painting a sperm and blood-stained black velvet painting of a festering sore of a world, an empty black hole that sucks in delusional, naive men and women, turning them into meat puppet mulch. Positive review.
Whoa, someone needs to take a nap. Drink some water, chill out.
Give
chill
him
out.
a good hug. It's gonna be okay. It's just one movie.
God, yeah. Ooh.
And that rounds up the positive reviews. Let's slide on over to the negative reviews, which there were plenty to choose from.
Oh, there's a lot more negative reviews. People were cruel. Gene Siskel from the Chicago Tribune said, "Is it sexy? Not when you're laughing."
I'm gonna let you know. I think that's an important question we should ask with every movie.
Ooh.
Is it sexy?
Is it sexy?
Whoa, calm down. What's this movie about? Okay, but like, more importantly, is it sexy?
Ooh, you know what? We should change the entire thesis of the show to, is this movie sexy?
William Thomas, Empire Magazine. Showgirls would be offensive if it hadn't been hyped. Leave your inhibitions at the door, winked at the US publicity. But it has. I feel like the 90s were a time where boobies were so frowned upon.
Too much.
You show us that nipple, get the hell out of here.
Oh my God, way too much. Just, oh no. The 90s were a very transformative time, I feel like. We were getting a little more used to just like, it is what it is. Live and let live. I think the 90s thought it was really progressive and it was not.
We were coming really hot off the Reagan and Bush years of conservatism. And I think this was just a movie that wasn't ready. The public wasn't ready for.
No.
I think now, if it was released now, we'd have a lot more open minds to it.
Oh yeah, different vibe.
I don't think it would get the NC-17. Because nipples, whatever, dude.
You know what? It might get and then end up like on streaming. You know, like that Marilyn Monroe movie they're doing with Ana de Armas as her. That's going to be NC-17 and come with an explicit age warning, but it's going to be on Netflix. I was thinking this while watching it. Like, if this movie exactly how it was released today, I think it would just kind of be more forgettable. It wouldn't like have any sort of impact. I think what really freaked people out and like what made it talked about to this day is just how much boobs there are. There's so many boobs. It's so many boobs. And one isn't like two are enough. Two are enough for people.
Two boobs or two pairs of boobs?
Two boobs. So like one boob, you know,
okay.
Like two boobs. oh my God,
Because yeah, like Titanic, we all freaked out because she just showed one boob.
that's right. Yeah. So like multiple boobs. Oh, forget it. Forget it. It's over.
There's entire dance numbers where like there's 30 or 40 girls dancing at the same time.
Yeah, multiple dance numbers with a lot of boobs. Owen Gleiberman with Entertainment Weekly. Showgirls is a stripper that thinks it's a dancer. Oh, so mean, Owen. That's super mean all around. I don't like that.
James Plath, movie Metropolis. Beneath the Vegas glitz beats the heart of a cheap B movie porno in Showgirls, a movie that truly is so bad it's funny.
There are times it's so bad it's funny. Absolutely.
There are moments I think this is almost like softcore porn.
Yeah.
Like pool scene, but also that's a little silly over the top.
I have never thought this movie was sexy at all, even though there's so much nudity, because all of it is super cheesy. Like anytime they're like doing anything sexual, it just comes off as like, oh my God, stop.
They're all doing the like inflatable thing at the car shows.
You like this? You like this?
This turning you on? Everyone on YouTube watching is like, oh my.
Oh my God. What are they putting on YouTube
just
nowadays? Yeah, I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's a sexy movie in the slightest, actually.
No.
Here we go. Why we all came here, truly. Hollywood's sassiest bitch.
I thought you had a Nell quote.
Oh, I wish she had seen this.
I mean, that's why we show up to the reviews to hear Nell.
No, yeah.
Roger's a close second.
Roger's just so sassy. We always got to hear what he says, and he's highly regarded as one of the best critics of all time. Roger Ebert with the Chicago Sun-Times said, "A waste of a perfectly good NC-17 rating."
That is sassy.
Sassy.
I couldn't agree more. Like again, I'm also viewing it in 2020. What are we in? 2022?
Yeah, we're in 2. Yeah.
Holy hell! Like this is nowhere near what I think could be NC-17. This is again.
I think what he was saying, especially for the time, is like NC-17 ratings are super rare. So if you're gonna get one, like make it good. Yeah, make it good. People like don't like nudity. It really freaks them out. And I don't understand that because I'm cool with nudity. Sometimes I think violence is really ridiculous. There's some violent shit out there.
The violence is the thing that gets the rating up. The nudity is something that's, hey, it's just there.
It's just there.
We all have nipples.
Yeah.
Get over it. Not even halfway. I was just desensitized by it. It's just, you've seen so many, you're just like, I don't even noticing it at this point.
Yeah, after a while I stopped registering how many boobs there were because it's just like whatever. Like
everyone's just here.
You get numb to it at a certain point. Like, okay. Joe, I'm super curious. This being your first time ever watching Showgirls.
Yeah.
I want to know like what you were expecting would happen and like what your first experience was like.
I was expecting a softcore porn. And that's not what I got. It was actual. What I got was a story about a woman trying to succeed in show business in Vegas. Like she had some goals, and she like worked towards it. She like goes to an audition. She like tries, and then like, oh, I chicken out. But then you know what? I got this. And then had like a rivalry with the top dancer of like, I'm great, and the other one's like, well, bitch, get out of here. I'm the top dancer. Like, we can't both be top dancer. And just like, the chaos that happens backstage with the performers like clawing it out. And yeah, I did not see any of that coming at all.
So based on what like you had heard the chatter around Showgirls, you were expecting more just like no plot and not lots of boobs?
Just a lot of dancing and boobs everywhere. But I thought it was just like, I think Elizabeth Berkeley and maybe like one other person, like the top 2 people, like we're just gonna heavily feature them. I didn't realize that we were gonna have like a full-on dance number of like 30 women dancing naked.
Yeah, a lot of big dance numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, big dance numbers. There was also like subplots that fit in, some well, some don't. Like she had like met a guy that was like, hey, I can make you a star, I'll make you better. And then that just kind of fell through.
It does just stop.
It just stops. And I thought he should have been somebody that, like, this James is the character. He's somebody I think should have stayed through the end, and then Act 3 betrayed her.
Okay,
by
yeah.
sleeping with somebody new. Like, you know what? You're old news, babe. You're old news, toots. I'm moving on to the next broad. Yeah. I think the opening scene really had to set us the tone. We were in for something that wasn't going to be as bad as people made it out to be. She's hitchhiking, gets a ride from some dumb trucker. She pulls a knife on Jeff, and then he dips her. Because like that was the make or break movie of how this movie, the tone of this movie.
He gives her money for the slots. He's like, here's $10. I gotta go talk to someone. You go off, sis.
He takes off with all her luggage, all her things, and then it's survival time for the rest of the movie. And I just like, poor girl. And then the ending scene just perfectly bookends when she's doing the thumb. The wife was like, it's gonna be Jeff. Fuck Jeff. We're gonna get him. And some of bitches, Jeff.
It's Jeff.
I was like, man, this movie knows how to bookend. Perfect.
I like also there's lines that are really good in those two scenes. So like when he first gets her, he's like, you gamble, and she's like, no. He's like, oh well, you're coming to the wrong place then. And then he says something like, oh, did you gamble? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, what'd you win? And she goes, I won me, or something. I was like, oh girl.
Oh yeah, at the beginning they plant the scene of like, I think he asked about her family, like, does she have anyone? Which is kind of his way of like, I'm gonna rob her or not. But you know, throughout the movie, everyone keeps asking her that. You know, I'm like, yeah, okay. Again, this is the starts of like a good script. Like it keeps bringing it up, and it's gonna pay off at the end. Yeah, man. I had a good time.
This movie is a lot of things. It's not boring. That's for sure. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that aspect of it. It's like, it's definitely not boring. There's a lot going on in here. Something is happening always. And there's always some sort of like, you know, makeup or costume or something cool, like wild to look at. And I think that's really fun. Like I said, watched this alone for the first time ever and tried to be a little more like critical rather than just like going in and having a good time, which is usually how I've ever watched this movie. And there are some things that I could see being a deterrent, but for the most part, I would agree. Like, I think that it's so harshly criticized for the wrong reasons in ways that it doesn't need to be. Like, we've mentioned it, like Elizabeth Berkeley's acting is always a thing people like just take a punch to. And it's like, that's not the worst thing here, folks. I think a lot of it falls on the writing and the directing. So for instance, we were talking about James, like her at the beginning sort of pseudo love interest, almost like friend who wants to work with her kind of guy.
Yeah, I think he even establishes like, no, I'm not trying to like sleep with you. Although
James is, I think, a clear example of why the writing is bad objectively, is that there's a character that's heavily featured. We think is going to, like you said, pay off in the end, be something. Like, there's got to be some reason this guy's here.
Like, help her, shape her the way. They have one night of dancing, and then he's moved on to the next girl.
That dancing, too, in the club is like... the dancing in this movie is ridiculous. I do have to say that. But he, like, we spend a lot of time with him. We develop their friendship, relationship, whatever. And then he's out of the movie. I want to talk about Nomi, and I want to talk about Elizabeth Berkeley just a bit. We've touched on it enough. I think she's fine in this. People hate it. But the character itself.
Yeah, talk about the character.
She sucks. Nomi sucks. And
why is that?
She, to me, is a protagonist that I can't root for. Like, I think that she at first is fine. Like, at first she's okay. I think the way she was written was she was meant to be like a badass chick who like is true to herself. She's going to do whatever she wants. And I think that would work really well had she not been like directed in such a weird way, so that when she is like being her like badass authentic self, she really comes off as like unhinged at times. Like going back to like our first meeting with James, they do like this weird dance off. They're like thrusting their dance moves at each other. And then all of a sudden she like pins him for assaulting her, and then they all start fighting, and then he gets like fired from his job because they have to spend a night in jail, all because she like decided to be sassy and funny. And it's like, what the fuck? So she does a lot of those things where it's like, girl, like, you're not being a badass chick, you're being a fucking psychopath, calm down. She's also just such an asshole at times that when she gets what she like wants and has been working towards, I feel nothing. Like, I don't feel excited for her. Like, yeah,
But
good for her.
is that the character's fault, or is that the environment that has shaped her's fault? Like just a theater production, like you work your way up
Yeah.
and now you're the top dog. You might treat like, fuck you, I deserved and I earned all this.
I don't watch this movie for Nomi, as weird as
Ooh.
that is.
What do you watch the movie for?
I watched the movie for Gina Gershon, and I
Okay.
watched the movie for some of the ridiculous scenes and some of the cool dance scenes in costume. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why I watched this movie, honestly.
Okay. Gina Gershon is, it looks like that's the character you root for.
I think
Why
so.
is that? Why do you root for her?
I think it's just because it's Gina Gershon.
What else about this movie do you love?
Oh man, I love the moments of like stardom in Vegas. Ooh. I love the moments of the dance troupe, like the cutthroatness of it, the literally violently attacking each other to get the roles we want kind of
I
vibe.
really enjoyed this, like, I don't know if I'd call it a subplot, but like plot number G or whatever. Just like, it's just some of the side dancers like have some beef.
Yeah.
Will she break a necklace? What is the
She like, oh my god, that part is wild. So she has like a pearl necklace that she tears off and like drops the beads in a very specific area on the stage, because one of her rivals, they're doing a dance number where the men are like holding the women up and like kind of like twirling with them slowly, and she knows that man holding her rival is gonna hit that mark and trip and fall over the beads. And Elizabeth Berkeley sees it all go down and is almost like a deer in the headlights, like, I don't know what to do.
It happens.
And
that girl takes the fall and she's out of the dance number forever now.
She's out, and it's brutal.
Dancing for, that was wild. I like that later in that movie, Berkeley shoves Gershon down the stairs, and that girl that saw her witness that was like, nah, she tripped.
That's what I saw. Yeah, she just because she knew you saw that, you didn't say anything, I got you. And then also what's really creepy about that little storyline is that when Berkeley eventually ascends to like Gershon's starring role in it, replaces her, that girl goes up to her and is like, hey, do you ever like think maybe I could be your understudy? Almost like, you're gonna give me a favor now and put me in line with where you were at. Like,
see, I take that as a threat, just like a, hey, if you don't let me, you're gonna get the beads, baby.
Yeah, like, oh bitch, I know what you did, you know what I did, so can I be your understudy? And Elizabeth Berkeley's like, yeah, let me see what I can do. And it's just like that kind of shit, like the weird, like petty, intense drama of like, literally, I'm gonna violently hurt you to get my role. My god, oh my god, this is like kind of lame. I just think Vegas is a really fun setting for movies. Like this, Vegas itself being so energetic and so visually appealing too, with like lights and glitz and stars, like blah. Vegas is a really fun story, like place, and Vegas is so prominent in this movie, of course, because it's about Vegas entertainment. I just really like that. I feel like most movies we see in Vegas, they're like The Hangover, and I think Vegas in this kind of light is really fun.
Yeah, more of the shows rather than gambling.
Yeah, it's a very different little like angle.
Yeah, usually when we go to Vegas, it's for the gambling, whether it be well, or bachelor party, like partying hard.
Yeah.
Rat Race.
And like Vegas is very well known for its shows, all kinds. So like that's actually a really cool setting. I like, oh my god, this is gonna sound wild. I like the dancing. First of all, I know the dancing can be horrifically bad. That's why I like it. And then I also know it can be very campy and overly stylized, and that's why I like it too.
I think all dancing is really stupid.
All forms
Like-
of dancing, or just in this movie?
So I'm not like I'm not like the guy, the mayor of Footloose or whatever. Where like no one should dance, but
Mhm.
like I just think it is an art form. Is just like like what? I don't. Okay, like it's all right. It's like it's fun. I think the act of dancing itself, it's fun, get your energy going. But like
Yeah.
as an art form of just moving your body and stuff, I would never like pay to watch it. I just think it's silly.
You know what? I would never pay to watch it either, but if it just so happens to be in front of my face, like, yeah, good
Like,
job, guys.
musicals and stuff. I guess I take it out of like the whole like, well, at least in musicals, there's a huge crowd is not all going to be like in sync with a choreographed number. Like how long did this random group of strangers plan this out?
Some of the quotes they say about her dancing is very funny because like she's not good at she's not a great dancer, or whatever they're having her do is not great. I'm sure Elizabeth Berkeley took dance lessons, but like what they ultimately have her do is kind of wild. And I just love the seriousness with which people watch her to be like there's a quote, "You burn when you dance." When I saw you dancing, I thought, yes, she learned it all right, but they don't teach that in any class. And all the while, Elizabeth Berkeley's like, like
Dancing is just
I love
goofy.
it. And then like whenever they're doing any sort of performance, it's not the worst, but it's also just a lot of like kind of slow movements. For a movie that's all about dancing, the dancing is not great, but I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of that dancing in that movie.
Okay.
One thing I love is the Versace. The
Nice
Versace
dress.
line.
I
Thanks,
bought
it's
it from Versace. That made me giggle. I was like, that's clever.
It's cute. And then someone corrects her and says it's Versace, and she's like, oh, whoops.
That was the captain.
Like endearing. I think she can be very endearing, and I think that definitely
That's
is
why
a pro.
that's why I root for her. What are your views on Nomi and Zach? Zach banging in the ridiculous pool.
It is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. Like truly, it is the least sexiest thing ever. Like they're like being flirty and seductive in the pool, and then they start going at it, and then she starts literally flopping around like a fish.
It's
in
a
the
lot of
pool.
gyrating.
Like we're splashing water
A lot
all
of
over
splashing.
the place in like the least sexiest way. It's like the type of splashing you do like as like in a pool, like it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. He in this movie is super weird. Like
Name a movie he's in where he's not the super weird guy though.
okay, you know what? All right, yeah.
Even How I Met Your Mother, he's the captain who has a whole joke of like just covering up one side of his face. Sounds like he's friendly or angry.
Yeah, you
and
know
he just
what?
has-
Okay.
He has an entire catalog of David Lynch movies.
I used
He
to
was
watch
the
Desperate
bad guy.
Housewives, and he
He's
was
the-
very questionable.
He's the villain in Flintstones.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? He's always a weirdo. Even if he's not like a bad weirdo.
Man,
he's
does he
a
play it
weirdo.
well.
But this one, he's like super creepy and slimy, and like his hair is too much. And
He's got a like weird open relationship with Gurjan's character.
yeah,
Who I can't tell if they actually like each other or using each other.
right. I think they were just more so using each other because
Okay.
like he very easily replaces her, and she doesn't seem that mad about it. Like, and she's not heartbroken about him. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So, in my opinion, Gershon is like almost supposed to be sort of our villain, I think, because like
Yeah.
or our antagonist at the very least.
Yeah, because she definitely like challenges Nomi at certain points. Like, you're not gonna get, this is my show. Like,
yeah,
fucking don't step on my territory attitude.
definitely. She
Which,
definitely
like,
like puts her in her place. Sometimes
I always like that they're like, "You're old news, you old bitch," and
Yeah.
it's like, she's not that old.
she's
And
like 27 in the.
yeah.
How old is
Oh
she?
my god, you grandma.
So yeah, she starts off. She's like the showgirl. She's the showgirl, and she's essentially like, I get a vibe from the very beginning that like Nomi wants what she wants. She wants, and she gets that. She does get that. I always thought it was super weird that like right away they're like obsessed with each other. Like when we first meet each other, it seems like it makes sense why Nomi would be obsessed with her, because again, she wants what she wants. She's a little jelly.
Yeah.
I don't get why Gershon is so obsessed with her. Like, does she want to like have sex with her? Do they just not like? Is that it? Because I think that's what's
I don't
it.
know if it's she wants to have sex with her or there's sexual tension between the two of them, because like she does get Nomi to dance for Zach
and
watch
likes
it.
watching it.
And,
That's
like,
one scene where I'm like, oh god, okay,
whoa, she
Yeah.
is grinding up on him.
she committed.
Committed to the role.
That scene always is sort of like interesting to me because it's a really interesting power dynamic. Like, people of course will look at that as like wrong and dirty, of course, but like whatever. But like
Well, that
Gershon's
scene-
basically saying like, I can make you do whatever I want, and you're
it's
gonna
all
do
about
that.
power.
Yeah, and I think
Ugh.
that that's kind of interesting. And Berkeley's like, all right, well, if you're gonna make me do this, I'm gonna do it the best I fucking can, and she does. And I think that's a really interesting way to start off their relationship, friendship, whatever, frenemy-ship.
They're frenemies.
Frenemies, yeah. Because it's again like the power dynamic is at play. Berkeley's letting her know, like, okay, well, I'm not backing down, bitch. And
Yeah.
it starts the tone of like,
I'll do it.
I'll do it, but I don't like you. It's just a really interesting dynamic the two have throughout. I like it. I like the two of them together. I think it's like weird and like there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of layers whenever they're in a scene together. And I think that's really cool.
I'm ready to read you 2 fun facts. Paul Verhoeven wanted to direct a sequel called Nomi Does Hollywood. However, after the film was so badly received, just nobody would give him money to make that sequel.
Damn.
I would love to see that sequel now.
I would.
Get, Elizabeth back in the seat.
Yeah.
Show them what like an aged dancer. What do they do now?
Yeah.
What does she do? Does she like sell crystals? Like what is her deal now? A source once told Paul Verhoeven that Steven Spielberg had requested a copy of the movie after the premiere. Reportedly, Spielberg stopped watching halfway through the movie while saying, "Sometimes I hate this town."
Wow. Of course he would. He's so high and mighty.
Elizabeth Berkeley was dropped by her agent after the film was released.
Oh my god. Dropped by her fucking agent? You're the one that got her this movie. Like,
That's fucked up.
That's
I
fucked
think
up.
you got to stand by your client no matter what, like, because like they did the job.
Yeah. And honestly, like where she was at in her career, I'm sure she wasn't just the one that's like, hey, I should be in this movie. Someone came to her and was like, you should do this movie. And it was probably her fucking agent, because that's how it works in the business. They're the ones that pitch
You
the
should
movies.
do this movie where you dance naked and
It'll
be
make
great.
you more of an adult, to be like a real actress.
I can't believe you danced in a movie naked. What? That's exactly what you told me to do.
Oh my god.
Quaz, I'm pretty sure I know where you stand, but let's make that official. Do you think we should give this movie a second chance?
Hell yeah. Absolutely. No question. Go watch it right now if you have not. I think it's just so entertaining. So many levels. If you love camp and just like stupid over the top stuff, go watch it. If you like bad movies, go watch it. If you like cheesy dance numbers, go watch it. I'm all in. I think it's wonderful. I love, to me, that it was so critically panned, so shat on. People were mean and vicious and cruel. And now it has almost like this like cult classic, like people love this movie, truly love this movie because of its flaws. I think that's rad. It brings people joy. I'm in. It brings me joy. I love this movie. So you know what? Fuck yeah. Let's ride. Showgirls.
This was my first time experiencing this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And probably because it was NC-17, it was so difficult to track down. It's nowhere to you can't rent it anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere. More importantly, it's not streaming anywhere. I don't want to rent it. For $1 or $2 more, it is now part of my collection.
And it's a Blu-ray.
And it's Blu-ray. So we saw the best visual content we could possibly see.
Nice.
I do think this is a really stupid cover for it.
The poster's awful. The original poster was like even worse.
Original poster is good with like the leg and stuff.
Oh really? I think that's weird. I don't care for it.
I think it's one of those. I do because it's so different. Like when you see it on a shelf, boom, I know that's Showgirls.
Okay, you know that's a fair argument.
I do want to say that it came to me broken. So there's it's so cracked.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Someone did not take care of Showgirls.
They were like, we don't care. We're Amazon. You don't give a shit. I can say I'm not disappointed this is a part of my collection.
Good.
Do I think the world needs to give it a second chance? Yeah. If you criticized it and said it was the worst thing, or you were just living in the 90s, man, you're repressed, and fucking grow up, watch it now. It's not terrible. I'm rooting for the poor girl to like succeed, and then when she gets to the point where she's gone bad, I'm kind of rooting for her to be bad. Like, yeah, fuck everyone else. Take over that shitty town. You had nothing. You had a tragic backstory. You deserve this. But then she leaves. She's like, peace, town. I'm done with you.
I'm like, you know what? I don't blame you, girl. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's, again, there's not a boring moment in this. It's fun. I do think there are elements of this that if it were made today, and we maybe get a different director just because, whatever he did the first time, let's get someone else to do it. But we get that same cast. I would cast everyone the same.
Yeah.
She had the potential to be like nominated for Best Actress because of all the things that this woman is going through, dancing her heart out, going like dealing with like love interests and I don't know, so many things, and all the fucking dancing. Oh my god, this actress is going through something, and you know what? I wish more people had recognized that like there's a lot of more good in it than it is bad. But you know what? That's show business, baby. So yeah, I say give it a second chance. If you've never seen it, it's not terrible. Go for it, man. Because yeah, again, if you haven't seen it and you are interested in it, at least there's boobies like 90% of that movie,
Yeah, again, it's not boring. So if you're curious, go watch it. Why not?
I say it's much better, especially because like it has a lot of story beats that are interesting, subplots that are interesting. One subplot that's really horrifying and terrifying, and I hate it, and I wish we just made the movie without that. But
yeah,
I get it. But then I think we got a payoff of like, at least some vengeance came out of it. So you still sit higher, but you still like, I didn't need it at all. Anyway, yeah, I give it a sec. Let's give it a second chance. Will I watch it again? One day. Not anytime soon, because it is 2 hours and yikes. I don't see why everyone hated this as much as they did. Yeah. Was it the best movie ever? No. Was it a bad movie? No. But like, I would give it like a B-, B+, like, or roughly a B. Like, it's entertaining as hell.
Not only does Showgirls deserve a second chance, but Elizabeth Berkeley definitely deserves a second chance. Y'all were mean. You were mean. She did not deserve that. She was trying her fucking hardest. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Second Chance Movies. Everything is listed down below in the show notes. Let us know what you think. Have you seen Showgirls? Did you enjoy it? We want to hear it all. A big thank you as always to Beaty McBeatface for our super fun theme song. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the things. It really helps. Lets us know what you like. Lets us know what you want out of us. We would really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back again soon with another Second Chance movie.